Welcome back everyone, this is another Doggo card review. We are now going to begin part 2 of our Albuta Volume 1. And that means we are moving on to the green cards. We will
Yay, green.
Yay green. Something that you don't really see in modern Weiss Schwarz, because hashtag go bar OP. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to start with card number 26. Shoko Makinohara Dream Girl. Level 3, cost 2, 9500 power with the Adolescence and Mystery traits. Continuous, if there are 2 or fewer climax cards in your waiting room, this card gets -1 level while in your hand. Continuous, during your turn, if all your characters are adolescents, this card gets 2000 power, and when this card is placed from your hand onto the stage, you may send the top card of your clock to your waiting room.
Okay, so this is quite a decent early drop actually. It's 11-5 on offense, and it is a token healer, which we've been seeing a resurgence of lately. Like back in 2016, 2017, all we saw were healers, and then for the past couple of years, all we saw were finishers at level 2. Love Life Sunshine, anybody? Oh,
I mean, like, healers are just something you just want to have to be able to increase your survivability by at least another turn, which could make or break your game in a good number of cases, honestly.
I do like my token healers. Of course, a lot of people tend to scoff at the 2 or less condition nowadays, but I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree. It's fairly easy to meet, and you don't ruin your compression the same way a 6 or more climaxing waiting room condition does.
Oh, we don't speak about 6
We
anymore.
don't speak on understandable. Let's stop living in the year 2010.
I mean, so overall, I do wish that Shoko did heal to stock, like the traditional Aqua profile, but at the same time, the standard heal doesn't kill your hand side.
No, it doesn't.
Although it is vulnerable to anti-heal, which some sets do, including the new Grisaia. So I'm definitely going to give Shoko here the playable rating. There's pretty much a clone of this in set 2 with the yellow Mai. So again, if you're running yellow, which I do see the new set running, you might want to play her. But in case you're still playing green, Shoko is still a good choice.
Yes, I will agree here, and I also think Shoko here is definitely quite playable. Again, not super amazing, but you could definitely justify a couple of slots for her at most. Definitely not going to scoff at.
I mean, I wouldn't play 4 of her, but she's definitely worth
like 2 to 3, yeah. I'd argue 2, but anyway, let's move to the next card.
Alright, moving on to the next card. Rio Futaba, Observe Theory. So she's 001K, she has adolescence, and she is a scientist. When this card attacks, choose one of your other adolescence characters, and they get 1000 power till end of turn. When this becomes reversed, if the level of the battle opponent of this level 0 or lower, you put the top card of your opponent's clock into the waiting room. If so, put that character into clock.
No, this kind of profile is not too... It's definitely far from terrible. But, I know, giving 1000 power on a level 0, on attack, it's definitely... It's definitely a useful ability to have. But, clock bombs are definitely seeing less and less play simply because there are those fringe cases where that next damage you do will put your opponent at no clock, meaning you're unable to send the character into set clock.
And the funny thing is that bombs in general have been seeing less and less play because the metagame is definitely towards shifting towards keeping your board alive while basically killing their board simultaneously.
Yeah, so in the form of runners or jumpers or chasers.
Goblin Slayer, many other sets chasers.
Yeah.
Free and mill runners.
Right.
But in terms of this card itself, I mean, the 1000 power can be useful in some cases, but I often find it either not enough or there's a bigger boost throughout the set. And
Right,
clock
right.
Room, they can be annoying in the early game, but they tend to lose their steam extremely quickly.
Like all
Like
other level
next
0
game.
bombs, really.
So I'm gonna have to give this the niche rating, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't help that there's just other level 0s that we can run throughout the title, and your sparks are honestly better off spent elsewhere. So I will also agree and give this the niche rating. Alright then, we will move on to the next card. Tomoe Koga, Clear Blue Sky, level 0, 1000 power, with the Adolescence and Smartphone traits. Although, at the beginning of your climax phase, choose one of your Adolescence characters, and that character gets 1000 power until the end of turn, and has Startup Brainstorm, pay 1 stock, rest this card, flip over the top 4 cards of your deck and send them to your living room. For each climax revealed this way, perform the following. Choose 1 card in your clock, add it to your hand, and send the top card of your deck to your clock.
Alrighty, so Clock Swap Brainstorm. While this is technically a plussing Brainstorm, I generally don't like these kinds of cards because, number one, it's very limited. You have, at best, a choice of 6 cards. Sure, you can grab anything from Clock, but at the same time, you're still rather limited in what you can grab. And the 1000 power is, well, again, is nice, but again, there are typically bigger boosters throughout the sets.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the problem, and again, going back to Frank's cases regarding clock, you have 0 cards in your clock because you just scotch level 1 to try to start your level 1 climax combo game or something. This card does absolutely nothing except burning yourself if you hit a climax and you choose to be that guy.
I mean, if you desperately need it, if you desperately need the mill, I guess, but that's just an inefficient use of resources. You're better off just using
A search or salvage brainstorm, really.
Pretty much. Or even, hell, even a drop search would be the better use of resources than this.
Yeah, like, if the ability wasn't a simple 1000 power, if it gets something a little more impactful, this could have been niche/playable for me. But I'm gonna have to be that person and really I just really dislike clock brainstorms. I'm gonna give this just bad.
I mean, when I played Chia and Shadow back in the day, and all we had was the clock swap brainstorm, it was okay. But the game has really evolved since then, and I'm gonna have to give this the bad as well.
Yeah, I just wish Busho would just kind of stop printing these, honestly.
No.
Oh well. Beggars can't be choosers. Anyway.
Shoko Makinohara, the Phantom Sister, 002K, Adolescence and Mystery. So, when she enters the battlefield, you may place... Oh, actually, you place the top 2 cards of your deck into the grave. If there's at least a climax among them, choose one of your guys and give them 1500 power. She also has the auto ability, pay 1, discard a card. When she enters the battlefield, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for 1 Adolescence, reveal it, and add it to hand. Then shuffle.
So, you're pretty much your run-of-the-mill drop searcher with an added utility of going down there 2 cards, and because they're both on place, you are allowed to choose the order as you so please, so you can search and then mill 2, which is very, very neat.
I quite frankly agree. It's not only a pretty decent drop search, but you also get that additional utility of mill. It is power which can help you climb over things, especially in this set. The particular climax combo that we'll be looking at later, spoilers, kind of needs a bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
Though, no, I'm going to have to give this the playable rating.
Yeah, like, you really just can't go wrong with a drop searcher with what is almost always a benefit, just especially in the early game where you really don't know your deck state. You just really want to get to that second, or that first refresh into your second deck as quickly as possible. This card definitely will play a pretty good impact as a 1 or maybe 2 of, depending on how you wish to shape your deck.
I typically like to play 2 of nowadays.
Ah, alright. Well, player preference, am I right? Okay, let's move on to Shoko Makinohara Twilight Sky. She is a level 1, no cost, 2000 power with the Adolescence and Mystery traits. And she has the following abilities. Auto, when you use the backup of this card, if you have an Adolescence character, choose one of your characters in battle and that character gets 1000 power until the end of turn. And she is an act counter. Backup 1000 level 1 when your character is trying to attack, discard her to give that character 1000 power until the end of turn.
Alrighty, 2K counters. Always playable in my opinion, especially if you're playing a more defensive deck.
Definitely. And Albuta is definitely very capable at playing defensively, where it just really wants to outwall and win boards on both players' turns. So this card is definitely very much a playable card. You know, just discarding it to win board is very, very useful.
No, there are cases where you don't. There are cases where you wouldn't play this card, especially if your guys are very weak on defense. Like, it's often not worth saving them, but this is definitely a point where it's worth saving.
Like, yeah, as we continue to go on to this day, we will see all sorts of powerful cards that are just. You'll be like, no, you don't. You are gonna have a hard time running over this wall. Will make Donald Trump jealous.
Yep, I was about to say.
All right, let's move on.
All right, Rio Futaba, Twilight Sky, 1045. She is an Adolescence in Science. When she is placed from hand to stage, she gains 1 level and 1000 power. When it's attacked, choose one of your other Adolescence characters, and that character gains X power, where X is the number of 500 times your other guys.
So, she herself can be an anti-level 1 bomb on top of being a what people will call a Shimakaze Kaikon, which is give a character X power, where X is 500 times the number of your other entree characters. You know, these kinds of cards, it really honestly depends on space and what you're trying to do in certain stages of the game. But, you know, I would say overall it's worth looking into.
I definitely agree. Like, it really depends on the space, like what your deck requires. Like, if your level 1 combo is tiny, this card definitely helps out and helps patch more weakness. And also, you also have to remember she's also a vanilla the turn she comes down. So, you know, at being at 5520, like most bombs don't even come close to 5/5. So she can effectively eliminate them for free.
Yeah. I would definitely say you can argue that it's playable overall.
Definitely playable, especially in this set.
Because sometimes you just really don't want to deal with people pre-fielding level 1 bombs. Staring at you. Alright. Alright. Rio Futaba, Calm Deposition. Level 3, 2 cost, 8500 power with Adolescence and Science traits. If this card is in your front row center slot, she gets 4000 power. And if you are level 3 or higher, she gets Bodyguard. The reminder text of Bodyguard is, if this card is on your front row center slot and is not reversed, any attack decorations that your opponent is attempting to do will instead target this character as the defending character. And although, when the battle opponent of this card becomes reversed, you may pay the cost of 1 stock and discard 1 card from your hand to your waiting room. If you do, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Damage cancel may occur.
Alrighty, so thick walls incoming. I mean,
there's
literally.
Yeah.
She's 12/5. She has the Bodyguard ability, which defends your other 2 lanes, and she even punishes your opponent for crashing into her, which they're likely going to be doing.
Because 12/5 is no joke, especially you can back that up with a 2k punch or higher.
I mean, and also not to mention the supports in this set that make her even bigger. I mean, yeah, she's pretty much the Titanic.
Yeah, you'll definitely see this card easily reach upwards of 14.5, 15k. Like, it gets crazy.
I mean, I I'm actually gonna have to give this the playable plus. Actually,
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree. It's just, the fact that it has cross-turn burn and being this stupidly thick body that really is able to play well on both offense and defense really, really puts the pressure on opponents in the late stages of the game.
if you stand by her in it too, my God, the game is almost basically over at that point.
Pretty much. Okay. Next card.
All right, Tomoe Koga in swimsuit, 3-2, 10K. She's a 2-soul beater. She has the Adolescence and Smartphone trait. When she is placed from hand to stage, look at the top 3 cards from the top of your library and rearrange them in any order. And then bounce one of your opponent's guys. Climax combo, discard 2 cards when the battle opponent of this card is reversed. If you have the climax, all the lives I have for you, you may pay the cost. If you do, clock kick them and burn them for 1.
The finisher profile, while it is easy to broadcast due to, it ends up being your clock, waiting rooms reveal for a trigger, and, this could allow your opponent to prepare for it. This kind of climax combo, it cantrips, it disrupts opponent's boards if necessary, and doing effectively 3 instances of damage on a single card with no stock costs is actually not too bad.
Oh, by the way, this card does not cantrip. It doesn't actually net you any cards.
Oh no, my bad, I misread. Well, okay, it cantrips and that it on-play bounces, and rearranging triggers to go for precise damage is very neat.
Now, the Little Busters has a very similar profile. In fact, that's where I remember this type of finisher coming from, even though I believe that costs stock and hand.
Yes, it did.
So, the finisher itself, while not bad, I don't think it's really conducive to what Aobuta wants to do. Like, Aobuta, from my own experience, isn't a very offensive deck, even though that will change with set 2.
Right.
I'm looking at you, Shoko, Nodoka.
Yeah, like, if anything, maybe one can definitely argue, it's probably more for, like, Tomoe waifu decks than anything else. So, I would probably say, because of, if it weren't for, like, other cards existing if it were for other cards trying to fight for level 3 slots, as well as climax choice, I would have given it playable, but I'm gonna go with Nish on my end, just because I feel like it's only something that maybe only Tomoe decks would really want to go for at most.
Like, some people might argue the bounce and the fact that it is green, but at the same time, we also have a Nodoka that also bounces. So I'm gonna have to give this the Nish as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have other cards that are really, really fighting for those level 3 slots in this title specifically. Maybe just the first set, that's the very sad part.
What, when we get to set 2? Oh my god.
Set 2, anyway, before we jerk off too much to set 2. Tomoe Koga, Accidental Reunion. Level 0, 0 cost, 500 power. I do not know why it says 0, so that is impossible. 1 soul. And it has the Adolescence and Smartphone traits. When this card is placed from your hand to the stage, send the top 2 cards of your deck to your waiting room. If there is at least 1 level 0 or lower character amongst those cards, this card may perform a side attack without inducing a soul penalty until the end of the turn. And although when this card becomes reversed in battle, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a level 0 or lower character, you must send this card to your hand, or put that card to your hand, otherwise leave it there. It's a very...
Well, side attack without penalty, very useful in terms of standby decks in particular, because guess what? You don't necessarily have to crash, giving them open lane.
And if it happens during the late game, just simply being able to avoid counters that can easily ruin your damage output is pretty...
High money counters.
Yeah, money counters, rest counters, etc. It's not a bad thing. But
And the fact that
oh,
and the
oh.
fact that she can potentially plus you.
Well, I was gonna say more of wash you.
Well, it's basically it's a cantrip.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
cantrip.
cantrip.
Yeah,
She can replace herself
she's
upon.
possible floater. But all in all, it's very hard to say with this kind of card. But it's not completely terrible. But also when we're considering super niche, I'm gonna actually take a balls move here. I'm gonna give it the meme rating. Like it's a little funny if any of these abilities happen.
I mean, I'm gonna have to give it to Nisha. Actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
All right. Maybe you wanna justify that a little bit more.
Okay, so the reason why I give this the niche rating is because, again, both abilities are kind of cute, but at the same time, if you're if you're if you're not facing standby, the first ability really falters. Honestly, like side attack without penalty, it's okay,
Yeah, it
but
is okay.
at times like you actually want to do attack for side penalty just to lower your soul damage and aim for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cantrip, well, it's funny when it does happen.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but you know, I mean, I would just argue like both of these abilities just seem very, very quite meme to me. Like this card almost effectively feels to me a walking meme, but you know, we can agree to disagree. Okay.
Alrighty, Tomoe Koga, Laplace's Demon, 001K, Adolescence, and Smartphone Trade. When she enters the battlefield, look at the top 2 cards, and you may put them back in any order. So rearrange them. When this character attacks, choose one of your other guys. Actually, choose one of your guys and give them 1500 till end of turn.
So both of these abilities are very nice utility, especially if giving effect if you're playing something like Standby where you really want to see Standby a ton more, and just being able to dictate the order of your triggers to really know what your damage output is going to be is very handy, along with the 1500 that can go either on herself to make herself 25 or to have another card really run over a lane to, for example, get a climax combo off that needs reverse or something of that sort.
And I do agree with those thoughts entirely because, well, the 1500 is nice, being able to potentially run over something, and the fact that you can pretty much rearrange your top 2. There have been times where I look at it and I attack once and then I just literally pass the turn because, well, it's a guaranteed cancel on top. If I don't want to trigger that climax, or if I do want to trigger that climax, still very useful to know.
Yeah, you know, if it's a standby, for example, and you just really want to establish that board presence, that is very handy.
Oh, hello, Tutu Koga.
Yeah. I will, you know, this is definitely quite playable to me.
Yep, same.
Like, it's very, very hard to argue it's the utility that it contributes to Albuta.
Yeah, specifically for this, yeah.
Alright. Moving on. Tomoe Koga getting around to showing off level 0, 1500 power, Adolescence's smartphone traits. Continue with all of your other Adolescence characters get 500 power. And although, when your other Adolescence character or discard is placed from your hand onto the board, you may look at the top card of your library, leave it where it is.
Okay, if I remember correctly, I remember seeing the second sentence in Terraformers for the first time. I was like, hey, I get to peek. Oh, I get to peek again. Oh, I get to peek again. And it's kind of limited since you can't really move the card. And the Global 5, well, kind of handy in some situations for tie-breaking scenarios, can be useful, but I don't really find myself in scenarios where that Global 5 really makes a big difference. So I'm gonna have to give this the niche rating.
Now, while information and global power are not bad when you just think about it, in the context of this particular set, like, you know, rearranging is one thing, but just simply looking at the top card in this particular set, I don't know about that one. Um, I just really think there's simply it's almost like no real context I can think of where you actually want to play this. Even in something like Tomoe Waifu.
Well, in Coco Waifu, like, it might be useful if you want to trigger that clock swapping brainstorm. But
Okay, okay, girl. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna disagree here. I just really think there's just really no space to justify anywhere to this card. Period. All right.
all right, Rio Futaba, an awful word. 1045, adolescence in science. If you have two or more other adolescents, this gains 1,000 power. Climax combo: when the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, if you have Cunning Mind in your climax zone, search your deck for a one for an adolescence, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Then shuffle.
Mm-hmm. Now, the card is effectively a vanilla with a on reverse climax combo. You know, there's something wrong with this card per se. It's it's a card that makes it for itself with a climax combo.
So, it is a vanilla, and the climax is actually a split 3k1. So, two lanes are likely to go off at that point, being 8 9 first 4.
Mm-hmm.
However, though, there are just better combos. Like, first off, you're adding a 2-soul trigger to your deck, which can be good, but in most scenarios, I don't really find myself needing the 2-soul trigger.
Yeah, and
the fact that
yeah, the trigger itself doesn't give you anything but damage.
And the fact that you can actually fall behind by playing the climax, since it only gives 2 of your guys the +1 soul, not all 3 of them, not all 3 lanes. So, this is useful in like Futaba Waifu.
Yeah, I would probably say this on my end because because of the fact other choices exist, but real waifu decks could definitely find space for this, just because this may be your only way of getting any advantage off at level 1, I think.
Pretty much. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one, man. Because
Alright.
even though this is typically like a playable combo, the climax really kind of kills it for me.
It's a big color specific, double soul triggers not necessarily is far from being a good trigger when you see it on a trigger check.
Oh boy. Okay, guys, I trigger check is split 3k1. Now I'm swinging for 4. Cancelled.
Like, seems good. Alright. Rio Futaba, where to look? Level 2, 1 cost, 1000 power. With the adolescence and science traits, she has a continuous ability where it goes. If you are at level 2 or higher, this card gets the following auto. Is that really auto ability? Yeah, well, it says auto. Auto. Pay 1 stock, put 1 Rio Futaba Lovesick on your stage underneath this card face up as a marker. Choose up to 1 Rio Futaba contest position for your waiting room, which is the bodyguard we mentioned earlier. Put it onto the same slot this was in. Put all markers from underneath this card as well as this card itself face up underneath Rio Futaba contest position as markers in any order, and add up to 1 adolescence from character from your waiting room and return to your hand. I feel that should be more of an act ability. But let me just double check here. Might want to have the Japanese text here. Yeah, that's actually an act ability, so we're gonna change that to startup. Thanks, Heart of the Cards.
Okay, so the card that she mentions, the card that she's referring to, the Rio Futaba Lovesick, is a blue card, 0/0. It's a global 5, and you can pay 1 to kill one of your opponent's level 0s in front row. So it's commonly referred to as the sniper. Now, in terms of summoning the 3/2 bodyguard at level 2, like, there are easier ways. Like, honestly, I'd rather just play a standby and not have to waste deck slots for both this and the level 0. Like, the level 0 is cute, but even then, I'm just like, oftentimes I'm like, why would I want to spend stock to kill their level 0 over there. I can just kill it
Yeah.
naturally. Spend it on a brainstorm.
Right, and it's also the fact that this is trying too hard to be a Gurren Lagann or Hinga Logic from Luck and Logic to do the whole fusion gimmick without the word fusion.
Oh yeah, trust me. Like, the fusion gimmick was really good in Hina Logic thanks to the principal, aka Merlin, as many people refer to her as. There's a reason why that card is now banned.
Facts.
Now, I'm gonna have to honestly give this the, well, you might disagree with me, but bad. I'd rather just play the standby and standby in the bodyguard.
I feel it. I'm gonna, yeah, you are right. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna say this is more of a meme card to me because, you know, maybe people want to like be a little like dramatic and really like, oh, I'm gonna fusion into my thick Rio Futaba.
Sure.
And get a card back for it because we're playing a poverty principle here.
Oh well, like, yeah, that's true. Even though the principal is a tutor versus a salvage.
Right. But hey, you know, bygones be bygones.
Alrighty, next card.
Nice card.
Sakata Asasakawa in the middle of being lost. 1035. He's just adolescence, guys. Alrighty, he's a global 5, and he does have a startup. Tap this. Give a Shoko 1500 power till end turn. So, Sakata. I can't really think of any like really good Shoko combos in the context of set 1. But in set 2, well, there's a lot more Shoko cards in there.
That's true. That's true.
There's a particular Shoko combo that is basically the Futaba that we looked at earlier, the level 1 Climax combo on pants.
Right.
You could also go with the, in my opinion, superior Mocha clone. Coming up in set 2. In terms of set 1, though, like, this card isn't really all that useful. Like, it can serve a useful niche here.
Yeah.
But,
you know, this is definitely like more for like very Shoko heavy decks. And as for that reason, the fact that it's very Shoko specific, and it does eat up a little 1 slot. I will just give it the overall niche rating. My 1500 power is not terrible, but being on a level 1 and being character name specific really does hurt a lot of merit for this card, but it's definitely usable in, say, you know, Shoko Waifu.
Yep. Shoko splashing Sakata. Now, at the same time, I wish this was kind of like, you know, this gave 2000 instead, since it has to be Shoko specifically.
Right.
But definitely, this is a useful card. More useful in set 2 than it is here.
Okay. So you're gonna give it niche. Yes. Alright.
Yep.
For sure. Okay. Number 40, Rio Futaba, True of Me. Number 1, cost with 6500 printed power with the Adolescence and Science traits. Continuous, if there are 2 or fewer cards in your stock, this card cannot attack, period.
Wow. Like, imagine a scenario where you're so screwed that this card can't attack. That is just sad. But, like, if you only have like 1 or 2 guys and you depleted all your stock, you've been struggling all game, there's a chance that Futaba can't even attack. And that is just...
My biggest problem with this profile is the fact that it offers little upside with too much risk of a downside.
And all we're getting is an oversized vanilla.
Yes.
I mean, I've played oversized vanillas. Saikano is a good one. The Utaha, who's a 7K. But yeah, I can't really give this card much merit.
Yeah, you're giving it a bag. I am giving it a bag as well. There's really not much to say about this card, and not like any card refers to it for any bonker level plays whatsoever. Right.
Shoko Makinohara, Honest Impression, 105k. Adolescence and Mystery. When this card attacks, if you have 2 or more Adolescence characters, this gains 2000 for the turn. Hi guys, my name is Deadly Assassin.
Facts. Yeah, 7k burst speeder, no, not terrible, but you're expecting it to die the following turn.
Yeah, I mean, if this doesn't die on the following turn, your opponent is either playing a meme deck or they're screwed.
Yeah.
So,
Overall, I'm gonna give it the niche rating. You know, it's not terrible. 7K beater is serviceable, but your spots are honestly better off spent elsewhere.
yep. I mean, there are better beaters in set two. Like, there's
Right.
there's a Shoko that literally is 7K on offense, is like 4,000 on defense, but also swaps a card in your level zone with a card in your grave. So, honestly, there's just a strictly superior version of this card in set two. Oh man, yeah, niche
Niche.
right now.
For now. Niche with maybe an asterisk. Okay. Shoko Makinohara, home visit. Level 1, 1 cost, 5500 with the adolescence and mystery traits. Continuous if the cost of the character in front of this card is 0 or lower. This card cannot become reverse.
I've seen English lists play this, but in terms of the Japanese metagame, yeah, you wouldn't play this card.
Yeah, English is only really because there's a much higher presence of level 1 and cost 0 bombs running amok along with a bunch of level 1 costless climax combos running amok. While JP has definitely, seeing fewer of both categories, period, especially after the latest restriction changes.
Oh, yeah, Fate.
Yeah, thanks, Fate. Thanks, Sakura.
Like, in terms of the card itself, though, like, I've never been a big fan of this profile. Like, it never feels good to actually hardcast this card. Like, even as a free standby target, I'm just like, I'd rather play the 1175 with Hanhong Core.
Yeah, same. And even then, you could argue that the slots are not worth it for even that kind of profile. Overall,
for my standby decks personally.
right. I'm gonna have to say, I will definitely say overall niche. It does depend on what kind of decks you're expecting to see in your area. In some cases, where if you know a lot of people are playing these level 1 on reverse combos or playing a lot of cost 0 level 1 bombs or cost 0 bombs, then this card could actually put in some work. But if you're playing in more of a standby heavy or people like you're playing like cost 1 combos or something, you probably want to steer clear.
Yep, like if you're seeing a lot of decks like Shingeki or like older Levelized Sunshine decks, definitely this is a valuable card. Otherwise, nope, don't even bother. Niche it is, boys.
Understandable. Alright.
Okay, Sakuta Azazagawa, Departing Rain. 2-1-6-5. Adolescence, during your turn, if you have a Tomoya Koga, get well. This card gains 4,000 power. Discard an Adolescence from your hand to the waiting room. And when this is placed from hand to stage, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a Tomoya Koga, get well in your grave and summon her.
Right. We will be seeing Tomoe Koga get well in a bit in this part 2 because she is a green level 2/1 8500 vanilla. Spoiler alert. Yeah, this is a the continuous is effectively fulfilled by his on playability, but being tiny on defense and 10.5k not being particularly impressive given almost everyone's playing some kind of early play that sticks around for 2+ turns, it really doesn't give this card a lot of merit, and you're fielding 2 very mediocre cards at that point of the game.
Well, just an addendum to that. Not everybody's early play stick around, i.e. look at Konosuba. Oh, you're expecting Explosion Girl and Aqua to stick around?
True, but against the majority of decks that have an early level 3 game plan, I just don't really see this having an impact whatsoever, even in a Tomoe and Sakuta OTP deck.
Even then, like you're effectively summoning 2 vanillas, which isn't good.
And one of them is one goes a vanilla. One goes better than a vanilla on your turn, and the other one is one is better than a vanilla on your turn, and then becomes worse than a vanilla on the opponent's turn.
Like 10-5 can sometimes contest the 2/2s that standby decks put out, but at the same time, even then they normally have head encore, which basically just kind of ruins the whole surprise, guys. I'm like, well, okay, sure.
Yeah.
You killed my 2/2. Oh no, ditch a card. Kill it on the return swing.
Right. This is a straight up bag for me.
Yeah. Give this the oof, please.
Alright. Shoko Makinohara Remaining Feelings. Level 2, 1 costs 7,000 power with the Adolescence and Mystery traits. Continuous. If you have 4 or more Adolescence characters, this card gets level -1 in your hand. And Auto Climax combo. When a card name in a sorrowful ring is placed onto your climax area, if this card is in your front row, place up to the top 2 cards of your deck from the top of your deck to your stock.
Alrighty. 2/1/7K. 2/1/7K.
That you can crap out early.
Yeah, I mean, she has the stats of a 1/1 vanilla. The fact that she doesn't have to reverse, does put her above other combos of this caliber, because though I'm paying for it.
Mm-hmm. You're paying for it, but it pays for itself with climax combo. And then some.
But typically there are 1/0 combos, even though they do require a reversal, do net you effectively 3 stock instead of the 2 stock that Shoko does.
Right. Well, I'm going to say overall for me, this is definitely more of a meme card. Some people, I have a bit of a confession to make. I do like to occasionally play decks that just want to gain buttloads of stock, and maybe do very funny things with it.
I mean, I can definitely see it. Like if your late game is stock intensive, this can be a decent combo for those types of decks. But yeah, nice meme there, bro.
All right. Yeah, it's a funny card, but it's not like this card's gonna break the game, or it's going to really advance my competitive strategy game plan. No.
Nope, not at all, man. Not at all.
Alright. And speaking of cards that don't really do much.
Shall we just oof this and move on?
Understandable.
I think we already talked about this card when we talked about the Sakuta counterpart.
Facts. I'm gonna give this a double oof.
The double oof. That's even worse.
Alright. Okay, let's move on.
No.
A reason for First Love. Level 1 costs 0 event. Choose one of your characters and send it to your waiting room. If you do that, search your library for up to 1 climax, review it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck.
So this is a clone of the Ziramaru reading a book event from Sunshine.
Well,
I don't remember the actual
she was not reading a book. That was her being amazed by a laptop for the first time. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think Japanese cards say Pencom or something like that.
Sorry guys, I'm a fake love liver.
No worries.
Okay, so this particular profile is actually quite useful. It guarantees your climax combo, unless they happen to all be out of the deck already. Flooded, trapped, in the grave already. You canceled way too much off them.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, being able to find that climax at level 1 or level 3, very, very convenient. So,
and unlike Summer Festival, Jinsu Kaini, on play, discard 1, clock the top card of your deck to find a climax. This card will not damage yourself to go find said climax.
So there are times where Jinsu is better, especially if you're especially if you're like flooded with all the wrong type of climax, and your opponent left you at 0-6. So yeah, I'll just hit myself.
Yeah, and she's also a boggy, whereas this thing minuses you a boggy to get the climax.
So it really depends on what you need. So I'm gonna have to give this playable though.
You're gonna make it playable. Alright. I will have to say it's a very fringe case for me. I'm gonna say it's more of a niche card just because not all decks need to be super desperate to have to play this to find a climax at any point at a given point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Moving on.
Repeating World. A level 2 event that costs 6. If you have no characters with Tomoe in name, you cannot play this. If all players are level 2 or lower, you may discard a card from your hand to the grave. If so, shuffle. Then mill the top card of your deck. If that is level 1 or higher, you gain an extra turn.
So, I heard you like to play Time Walk in Weiss Schwarz.
So, this is basically Time Warp. A very conditional Time Warp, but at the same time, the Google event, it pretty much is a build-around, in my opinion, because in that particular case, like, I can't really think of many scenarios where I built enough stock to be able to take advantage of that extra turn.
Right, and the fact that it is completely useless once anyone hits level 3.
Yep. I mean,
and like if this card sent itself to memory, you could argue it'd be a bit more playable. But you know what? There's only one rating to give it here.
I mean, modern day Time Warps exiled themselves after cast. So I wish this did the same instead of the whole, well, here's Time Warp but a bunch of restrictions on it. So yep, nice meme, bro.
Mm-hmm.